Hi, Barbara. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Earlier I talked to Mary Herron and just
Mhm.
geeked out about her career as a whole because she's one of my favorites. But what I love about her work is like she, for whatever reason it is, finds these people who are obsessed with music in like the oddest of ways. And that's what I love about Gala is that she is obsessed with this man who wants to be a musician. And like while she loves Dolly, she is obsessed with the man, the guy who's just in Jesus Christ Superstar. And for you, what is like there are fun moments throughout this movie, and what was kind of the joy of getting to play a character like Al, who is complicated, but also like really likes Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yeah, I mean the wonderful thing about this, it's so contradictory. She's that tough businesswoman on one hand, who manages Dali's career, and then she has this, as you said, for this Jeff, who is, who is nothing compared to Dali. And she tells Dali, but you don't play guitar as well as him. So it's kind of weird. This older woman who is so in love with this yeah, he's a singer, but not, at least in the movie, not nothing of the
Mhm.
quality that Dolly has. And in the beginning of the movie, in her life when she was young, she was just so courageous, and the decision that she made to be Dolly's muse, become, was such an extraordinary decision, because I mean, she was living in Paris, she had a rich husband, she had lived in a ménage à trois with two of the most important artists of the time, Éluard and Max Ernst. And then she meets this odd man, Dali, who was kind of hysterical laughing fits he had, and is very fragile. And she sees that genius in him, and she says, I'm going to go with this man. And she leaves all she has and moves in this shack at the beach somewhere and makes this man. She really makes him. She
Mhm.
stabilizes him. He gets more robust, but she also accepts a sexless marriage.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's quite something. And then she gets this from somewhere else, because she's a very sexual liberated woman. And she has all these goals, and then we see them in the film in the 70s, in this kind of New York scene with all these young people in these Alice Cooper, and with these outfits of the 70s, and these hanger-oners, and he is head of the table and giving speeches, and it's just a world that I think it doesn't exist like this anymore.
Yeah. And I think
It's
I
nice to
said
look into this world.
it is. And I said to Mary earlier, I was like, what was fascinating to me about this movie? First of all, it read to me a lot like The Great Gatsby. And like this young
Mhm.
man is like looking at this larger than life figure
Yeah.
and kind of following him around. But I also really liked Dali and Gala's relationship in the sense that like this movie doesn't make her seem like the overbearing monster woman, which Mary said in her research, a lot of people wrote her that way.
Yes.
But it that's kind of how people looked at the women in these, and like men could be artists and do these crazy things and we would praise them because they were men, but like the
Yeah.
women who were there, they were seen as like less than. And so I really like that this movie doesn't do that. And for you, what was kind of the most fascinating thing that you found in your own research of Gala? Because hearing like how Mary described how people wrote about her and what the movie did,
Yeah.
I was like, it's really interesting to kind of see how it transformed.
Well, I saw exactly the same. And they were described a lot. I mean, I read one article in a Paris newspaper where they described it as a dominatrix. And yeah, and they was writing a lot about how she spit in people's faces, and how Buñuel was angry at her because he thought that she stopped the collaboration that he had with Dali. They did Le Chien Andalou together, and
Mhm.
then wanted to do something else, and then he said it was all Gala's fault, and everybody. And it was really, really very, very harsh, the reviews on her. And I, what I really found fascinating is that this woman, nobody saw this sacrifice that she actually gave to this maid, to this man.
Mhm.
She, in a way, I mean, you see her as this very, very like this businesswoman, this tough woman, but she actually gave up a lot of herself just to put him in the spotlight.
Mhm.
And this dichotomy I found very, very interesting. And the marriage, that there was this passion, that he had this passion for this woman. And when she, when she got mad, he loved it. So it was not, oh, let's talk things out and let's be like nice with each other and all that, it was just like volcanoes that
Mhm.
erupted. That's very different to what we today aspire. We all try to, how can we be, talk to each other? How can we be nice? How can we,
Mhm.
this is a very different relationship.
Yeah, and it is, and it's very like obvious too that it is that way when Dali like hurts himself almost on purpose so that she has to come back and be
Yeah.
there, and then she yells at him about it. Like it's those little things that you're like, oh, they love each other, but maybe not.
Yeah, but
But
then also, when she comes back and she cradles him like a baby, and she's,
yeah,
oh, you're a boo boo, and it's like this. And then on the other hand, she boxes somebody. It's just, it goes back and forth and back and forth, and it's like his art in a way.
well, yeah, and obviously we know him for surrealism and the absurd paintings with the melting clocks and everything like that.
Yeah.
But the movie does kind of honor that, those like odd moments that like we would associate with a artist like Dali. And is that for you as an actress kind of fun to film the like, I love when Dali was like looking at his past and like the like more absurd elements of this. Was that exciting to kind of get to see those
Yeah.
pieces come to life?
Yeah. No, but I also like these pieces between them when they were sitting in their house and they just had breakfast together.
Yeah.
And you see that this is a really old couple,
Yeah. Just like the normal everyday.
like the normal thing.
With this, it is in its own way, it's a biopic of Salvador Dali, but it is kind of bringing a fantastical look at him for new audiences.
Yes.
So, what do you hope audiences take away when they get to see Daliland?
Well, I really hope that they are going to have fun, because I think with the music and the parties, and it's both, it's fun on one hand to just, it has a sensual experience to
Mhm.
see these people with the paint and the dresses and the dress up of the people. But then it has also this dark moments, when you see how old they are, how they try to put their costumes on to become what they show the public. When she puts her wig on, and then says, now I go out, when he tries to paint his mustache. So it
Mhm.
has it's sort of a look behind the scene of a glittery world which isn't quite there anymore, because they are declining,
Mhm.
as people, and they're grasping the last, I think, the last glamour.
Yeah.
And I think that
It,
could be fun to see both. And
yeah. And
but
I,
you see very rarely an old couple marriage, and not that passionate, you know. When do you see this? You see these things usually with young people.
yeah, it is. It's fascinating to kind of when you break it down, you're like, yeah, it is about like an older couple who are just like existing still as a married couple, even though they maybe shouldn't.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for talking with me today. I love the movie and I can't wait for audiences to get to see it.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thanks.